Okay, the batteries in my camera died in the middle of that speech. That didn't help any. So we got fresh batteries in there, and let's try to finish this. So I was saying it kind of discouraged me because I'm not the best modeler. But you can't be a good modeler unless you keep at it. And I've not been doing that. Like the models you've seen are the last I've built, so it's finished built. So we're looking at over 10 years now. Unfortunately, I still think I'm a modeler. So over the years I've been going to the shows, I try to support the shows, and I've been trying to support the manufacturers, and maybe some other time I'll swing the camera around in here, but then you'll have me put away for being a lunatic because of the number of models in the Woody workshop. But it's quite a few. But you know what's been happening is, fortunately for the internet, it's a good thing and it's a bad thing, isn't it? It's a bad thing because you can spend forever surfing the net, doing whatever, watching what everybody else is building and not doing it yourself. It's a good thing because now we see people like Dr. Cranky, who tells us to build and have fun with it and all that type of thing, and our friends at Scale Model Addict, whose model I'm really trying to put into play, which is the goal is completion and not perfection, and trying to remember that this is supposed to be fun and to stop looking at it like a judge. And if I mess up the first few I do, I'll mess up the first few I do, and I mean that's really important, and that was part of Dr. Cranky's response to Louis, was that, you know, he bought one and he messed it up, and he bought another and he messed it up, and he kept going. And I really have to get that through my head and keep trying to do that. And I've got to admit that I could have called my channel, instead of the lazy-eyed modeler, the lazy-assed modeler, because I'm lazy. You know, I don't, not an unending well of energy. Never have been, not even as a kid, which is probably part of why I got into modeling. Between bad eyesight and flat feet, I sucked at sports and stuff, and so I did tend to sit around a lot, you know. So anyway, I'm really hoping to improve. One of your questions, Louis, was where do you find time? You know, I feel guilty because so many guys have so little time, or they're up at building at 1 or 2 in the morning and whatnot. And with the job I've had up until recently, I worked from 7 till 3, let's say. You know, I could have had all kinds of time to build, and I basically did. And just not doing it. Just not doing it. Watching everybody on Spotlight Hobbies web board, Model Cars forum, and you name it, and now on YouTube. And I've just not been doing it. And I mean, having to be up early and whatnot, like I'm in bed at 10, and if I make it that far, you know, I can't function on 3 or 4 hours sleep a night. I don't know how people do it, but I can't do it. Not anymore, maybe when I was younger, but I can't do it now. So anyway, I've got to admit, I'm guilty of saying, well, when I retire. Nah, that's not the way to go, is it? Well, no, it's not the way to go. So anyway, the one thing that has changed here recently, and I don't recall if I mentioned it in my videos, last couple of videos, is that I now have Wi-Fi. So it used to be when I surfed the net, I was doing it on the, you know, the PC, the box unit. It was parked in one corner in the basement. Is about as far away as you can get from the Woody workshop here. So I would just tend to stay down there surfing the net and whatnot. It's actually a good thing now that I have Wi-Fi and I can have this laptop out in the shop, is that I'm still wasting a lot of time surfing the net and watching YouTube and whatnot, but I'm also fiddling a bit with the zombie hunter back here. At least it's a start, and I'm doing something. You know, you got to start somewhere. And to you guys, you know, well, so many of you guys out there, and I wanted to do a shout out, and I'll still try to do that later, but you know, you guys, you sit down and you work, and wow, it's amazing what you do. For me, if I get a few minutes work done through all this, it's a start, and it's a good thing. I had the zombie hunter mocked up a little bit last night. Not happy with the location, the gun, so it's kind of apart now where I show it. So that for me is progress, and I don't know where to go from there, but that I feel guilty, you know, when so many of you guys wish you had the time I've had to be building, and I'm just frittering it away. But we're all different, and I guess that's where it stands. My intentions are good, and I hope that's something anyway, because I still consider myself a model builder, and I don't know. I'm now losing track of where I was going with everything. I don't know if this answers anything. It tells you a little bit of who the lazy-eyed modeler is, and in my history and whatnot. Like I say, maybe someday I'll get up enough nerve to swing the camera around the Woody workshop here and show how many kits are sitting around here. And we're still going. I just got another nice resin kit in that I'll show you in another video. I love the aftermarket part of this hobby. It's so exciting, and the only thing is, I suppose it seems like a waste to keep buying stuff when you're not actively building, but especially where it comes to the aftermarket and resin stuff, you gotta pick it up while you can if it's something that really speaks to you, because it could be gone tomorrow. So I'm kind of, that part I've kind of learned, I'm kind of sticking with. eBay I'm not doing as much anymore, especially just for run-of-the-mill kits, because the shipping has gotten way out of whack. I mean, I won't say who's running an auction right now, but somebody is, and I was checking out, and I almost bid on a couple items, but then I was about to bid $10 on a kit, and it was going to cost me $31 to ship it. That just doesn't work. I mean, I may as well spend the $30 in gas to drive to Toronto to go to the hobby shops down there than to pay, and I can grok all the kits, than to pay that kind of money just to get one kit up here. Anyway, that's a tangent. And since I'm filming this on a camera and it's 2 parts, I have no idea how long this is. I hope this has answered some questions and not just muddied the waters or scared people off or convinced them that I'm loopy. So anyway, that's I was going to call this, you know, Atomic Dog 32 has Toss Them Bones, or I was going to call this Whackin' Wood, but then I realized that may not be the best name for if I just have a chat as opposed to a model related video. So I gotta come up with something else. I'll let you know. In the meantime, take care, be healthy, and enjoy playing with that styrene.